I've worked night security for years. Empty malls, storage lots, dusty warehouses, you name it. I've probably guarded it. I thought I'd seen it all. That nothing could really get under my skin anymore. But then I got the hospital job. The gig sounded simple enough. Just keep an eye on the old county hospital until demolition next month. The supervisor said. It had been shuttered for nearly 15 years. No patients, no staff, just silence, dust, and long, deep shadows. My shift started at 8 p.m. The first thing that hit me when I walked inside was the cold. This wasn't the kind of cold you get from a broken heater. This was a living cold, the kind that feels like it's crawling right under your skin and nestling into your bones. The main hallway stretched out like a dark tunnel. The few working lights flickered weakly, casting dancing shadows on the walls. Medical charts were still hanging from clipboards. Wheelchairs were left abandoned in the middle of the corridor, as if their occupants had simply vanished. It was an unsettling, frozen-in-time kind of vibe. I started my first round, methodically scanning each floor, my footsteps echoing in the natural silence. Every few minutes, the radio on my belt would hiss with static. A burst of white noise that made me jump every single time. It was just static. I told myself, just interference, but then I heard it, a faint, rhythmic beeping sound, unmistakably a heart monitor. But that was impossible. The main power to the entire building had been cut years ago. There was no electricity. My heart started hammering against my ribs, but I had a job to do. I followed the sound, my boots crunching on debris. It led me to the intensive care unit, the ICU. Every step I took seemed to echo louder than it should have, announcing my presence to whatever was making that noise. The moment I stepped through the double doors into the ICU, the beeping stopped. Dead silence. I stood there, my flashlight beam trembling in my hand, cutting a shaky path through the darkness. Then, right behind me, a voice whispered. It was as clear as day, right next to my ear. He's awake. I spun around so fast I nearly tripped over my own feet. There was no one there. Just a room full of empty beds, each one covered in a thick, grimy sheet. My mind was racing. I was tired, I told myself. It was my imagination playing tricks on me in this creepy place. But as I turned to leave, my blood ran cold. One of the beds, it was empty. The sheet had been pulled down, folded neatly at the foot of the mattress, as if someone had just gotten up. That's when I heard footsteps in the hallway outside, slow, heavy, a sickening, dragging sound. I gripped my flashlight like a weapon and called out, my voice cracking. This is private property. Who's there? No answer, just that awful sound getting closer. Closer. I peeked my head out into the hallway. Nothing. It was completely empty. But when I looked back into the ICU, my breath caught in my throat. All the heart monitors, they were on. Rows of small green lights blinked in the darkness. Flat lines on the screens were suddenly jumping, turning into steady, pulsing heartbeats. And that's when I saw him, a man, standing at the far end of the room, wearing a faded hospital gown. His skin was paper white, almost translucent. His eyes, they were just hollow, dark pits. He looked right at me, and a whisper escaped his lips. A sound that seemed to echo inside my own head. It hurts. Then he started walking toward me. I didn't wait. I ran. I bolted out of the ICU, back into the main hallway, and sprinted down the stairs. The whole building felt like it was alive, twisting around me. Doors that I had just come through seconds ago were now sealed shut, the handles refusing to turn. The emergency lights began to flicker, strobing in a sickening red glow that bathed everything in the color of blood. When I finally crashed through the doors into the lobby, I slammed the main entrance open, desperate for the cool night air and the sight of the parking lot. But outside wasn't the parking lot. It was the ICU again, the same beds, the same flickering red and green lights, and that beeping. It was everywhere now, a deafening chorus getting louder and louder. I started screaming, pounding on the walls. Let me out. Let me out of here. That's when the hospital's old intercom system crackled to life. A distorted hiss followed by a calm, clinical woman's voice. Security check complete. Proceed to patient room 301. My legs felt like lead, but it was like I had no choice, like some invisible force was pulling me. I went. Room 301 was on the third floor, at the very end of the east wing. The door was already ajar, a sliver of darkness beckoning me inside. I pushed it open. Inside, there was a single hospital bed, and on the bedside table, a patient file with my name on it. Thomas Reed. Admitted, October 21st, 2015. Status, deceased. That date. It was today's date. 10 years ago. I dropped the file, the papers scattering across the floor. I ran again, not even thinking, just pure survival instinct. This time, when I reached the main exit, the sun was rising outside. Everything looked normal. My car was right there in the empty lot. It was over. When I finally got home, my hands still shaking, I fumbled for my wallet, my keys, and I remembered the file. I checked my pockets, my bag. It was gone. But when I opened my phone to call my boss, my thumb slipped and opened the photo gallery. There was a new picture there. One I absolutely did not take. It was a photo of me, lying on that hospital bed in room 301. My eyes were wide open, staring blankly at the ceiling. The monitor beside the bed showed a single, long flat line. And standing in the corner of the photo, just over my shoulder, was that same pale man, and he was smiling. Thank you so much for listening to my story. If you enjoy this kind of content, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more. It really helps the channel out. Stay safe out there.